Welcome to Crying in the Walk-In with Sam and Kai.
We're two Seattle-based bartenders talking about the restaurant industry through a queer, non-binary, and POC lens.
Catch us chatting about workplace gossip, guest interactions, and bar education, and probably also more.
Cheers!
Welcome to Crying in the Walk-In.
We're recording on Halloween.
Wee! Spooky! Happy Halloween. It's my favorite day of the year.
Is it your favorite day?
This is my favorite holiday.
Oh, shit.
I'm so happy. Not like I'm doing anything for it, really, but...
Yeah, but you did already do, 4 costumes.
That's true. Yeah. The nature of work in the industry means that during Halloween you have to wear not the same costume over the entire of Halloween weekend.
Yeah.
Halloween weekend is so exhausting.
I haven't dressed up once, and I'm kind of...
It's okay. I'm glad, though, for you that you didn't have to deal with
I mean, I didn't spend
all
money
of
on
that.
it. Yeah. On shit I'm going to wear once.
I spent $150 on my fucking espresso martini costume.
We need to post photos of that.
I don't think I have photos of it.
You
You dumb bitch. Okay, I'll scrounge up something.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll put it on.
Put it back on and I'll do a photo shoot. That's so funny.
All right, how's your day, Sam? Besides it being Halloween.
Oh, good. I did go to a pumpkin patch this
Ooh,
morning.
how very fall of you.
Yeah, it was perfect. I didn't get a pumpkin, but I did drink apple cider and had one of those cider donuts.
I fucking love those cider donuts. I live for them. I didn't get any this year. I need to go get some.
Damn, I should have brought one for you.
Oh, it's fine. You hate me. I get it.
Yeah.
I feel like
I do.
maybe famously, I feel like maybe they should have them after Halloween because that feels very fall-like, and I demand them now. So.
I'm sure we could find you some.
Okay.
But yeah.
Next on the agenda.
What did you do this morning?
I laid. I had a rot day. During brunch the other day, we sold $13,000.
Just for brunch?
Just for brunch. And I was the bartender. And my...
2 bartenders or 1?
2. But...
Still, that's not a lot.
My fucking tendonitis in my elbow flared up because of how many cocktails
You're
I was
so
making.
old.
I know, it's disgusting.
Yeah, my tendonitis.
My tendonitis. My existing tendonitis.
Oh my god.
I'm old and creaky now.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's over for me. Anyways.
Okay, let's do it.
Away from my creaky bones. What are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about mental health in the service industry, and we have notes to follow, but I don't know what's going to come up, so I just want to small trigger warning this episode that we're going to be talking about mental health, specifically related to depression and sleep disorders mostly.
Probably anxiety too.
Mm-hmm. If anything else comes up, we can provide another trigger.
We'll put trigger warnings in the show notes with timestamps, just in case anyone needs them.
Yeah. Yes. Protect yourself.
Yes.
But today we are talking about mental health in the service industry and the factors of our working conditions that contribute to things like depression, anxiety, and sleep disorders.
Yes, indeed.
Lit.
All the good things.
Yes. All right. So just to introduce the topic a little bit, the outline of this came from an article that I read called The Tipping Point. It's service sector employees are more susceptible to mental health issues. This is the abridged article to the research article that is too wordy to...
It's very long.
But the link is provided in the short version of the article if you want to read it. But
I'll link that too, the article.
Awesome. Perfect. So basically the hypothesis of the research article is that the higher prevalence of mental health problems in the service industry may be linked to the precarious nature of service work, including lower and unpredictable wages, insufficient benefits, and lack of control over work hours and assigned shifts. And being that we've been in the industry for 10 years, I thought we could just anecdotally talk about some of these things.
We're doing great.
Yeah. Whew. Yes.
So mentally stable
I
over
didn't
here.
show up here crying today. But anyway, so I think just let's get right into it and go down the list of factors and contributions to mental health issues in the service industry. First being tipping culture.
So
I was actually shocked when I was researching some of this because I hadn't thought about it. Like, I had experienced tipping culture, but I hadn't thought about it in great depth.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most shocking factors that I found was that, like, when people are tipping, I feel like it's often thought that it's like minimum wage plus the tip.
Yeah.
When you're in the service industry, but a lot of states
Oh.
still, only pay employees like $2 an hour.
Yeah.
And then the remainder of the $7 minimum wage is made up by tips, and then whatever.
Kind of.
Yeah, and then whatever tips are on top of that are extra. Congratulations.
Yay.
But, I mean, the funny thing is I knew in one previous work experience that I think at the time, maybe like 5 years ago, the minimum wage was like, I don't know, 12.
Here in Seattle?
Yeah, I don't know. Let's say it was like $12.50 or whatever, which I think that sounds too low even for 2015. But,
oh my God, yeah.
But I think the minimum wage was like $12.50, let's say, and I knew for a fact that our employers were only paying us $10 an hour.
Cool.
Yeah,
Real
and
cool.
then the rest was made up in tips. So it's like hard because as much as you can make money in a tipped profession here in Seattle, we are the more, I would say, more privileged, protected working class than other states.
Totally, yeah.
But basically what this is saying is just that we have to deal with like such insecure wages.
Totally, yeah.
Paycheck to paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
financial insecurity ain't nothing to sneeze at either. It sucks.
Sneeze at. Yeah, no, it's like, it's tough because it's like, we already are paycheck to paycheck, but we can never rely on like how much we're going to make.
And also too, like, what if it's slow that week and you don't have a lot of people who come in? Then like, you're just, I mean, at the beginning of this month, like, that was me. I was so stressed because we were pretty slow most of the time. And we were cutting people early and all that because, it doesn't make sense to have like 9 people on the clock when there's like 9 people in the restaurant. But yeah, I'm rambling but it's hard when you don't know if your paycheck's going to be good or not. It sucks.
Yeah, it's absolutely horrifying. And then on top of that, I think because we live in a tipped world, and like, it's really common here in Seattle for restaurants and bars to be tip pooled, meaning that like all the money goes into one pot and then it's split evenly by hours worked for that day. And like, some of the working conditions that contribute also to bad mental health are because we can't have enough bodies on the clock, otherwise the tip pool is split so thin that you're 100% not going to make any money.
Yeah, it's like a weird
just
balance.
Making minimum wage.
Yeah.
And so it's like this weird toxic balance of like, yeah, okay, get people off my clock, that way I'm like actually making a decent amount of money per hour.
Yeah.
And not to mention, and get too political about it, the cost of living here in Seattle is getting pretty outrageous, and
it's so high.
And like, while we have like a pretty high minimum wage, I still am just like, holy shit, like, when is that gonna like match the inflation that we're dealing with right now?
What's our minimum wage right now? Isn't it like 18 or 19?
I'll double check for you, but yeah,
I believe it's like 18 or 19.
It was 15, but I know it's gone up since then.
Yeah, it's hovering closer to 20 now. But if you do the math on it too, even if you were just making minimum wage, $18.69. Oh, nice. Yeah. We will never stop being teenage boys.
Yeah.
Even if you do the math for that for like a year, it's not a livable wage in any sense of the word.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. So we're like truly relying on our tips.
Exactly.
To make up for the deficit in what we're not getting paid. Yeah.
And like, that's just it's just fucked up. There's no other way to say it. Yeah. It's just fucked up.
So it's
but, and that's not like on our employers or anything, because obviously they can't do anything about it. They have to run a business too.
Yeah.
Just like we have to, make money. But I don't know, it's just something to be said about the state of this world and how much we're not, living in financial security.
Yeah.
Many people.
I'm not going into the state of this world today, but
God. Yeah, we could do a whole nother.
That's overwhelming.
That's too much.
But also something that didn't really come up in the journal because I don't think like the people doing the study were working in the industry.
What?
So obviously the participants worked in the industry.
Yeah,
but the people conducting the study.
That just feels
like
funny to me for some reason.
But I feel like the people conducting the study didn't really know everything to ask too. So one of the factors with tipping that I think about is how it makes you feel.
Yeah.
And maybe they weren't doing a full qualitative study, so maybe we need to do more research in this area. But there is something weirdly toxic about the immediate judgment or measure of your value as a person.
Yeah.
When you're being tipped.
Exactly. Yeah. You're right? It's like assigning a monetary value to yourself. Yeah. It's very weird.
It's horrifying. It's devastating.
I used to I've tried to stop doing this now because it got to a point where it was just too bad for me. But sometimes I would just check after someone left, what they tipped me. And I needed to stop. And I catch myself doing it sometimes still. And I'm like, it's not worth it. Please don't.
I try so hard never to assign tips to myself, so I won't look at a check or even when I'm closing out checks at the end of the night, I don't look for mine. Sometimes at the end of my shift, I'll go in and see what my tip percentage was for the day. Yeah. But it's so draining to be I gave somebody this experience and they valued it this much or this little.
Totally. And you're why am I fucking trying so hard?
Yeah, and I'm truly just gotta love it. This doesn't make me feel bad about myself at all.
I've never really thought about that.
Yeah, I think about it often. Yeah. The way it psychologically affects you to be judged immediately on the spot. Yeah. Even if it was a couple degrees of separation, I think I could handle it more. But it's crippling sometimes to have immediate judgment.
Well, yeah, especially too when
to your face.
Yeah, and especially when we have those portable toast handholds. So I'm standing there holding the thing out to them while they are assigning a value to me.
Yeah, nothing feels better than being able to walk away while somebody signs for sure. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I always make a point to look in the other direction.
Yeah. It's so awkward. I think there needs to be a whole case study on the mental health effect of just tipping, but in a more anecdotal, emotional way, because I've gotten away from caring too much about what people tip me, but you have to care about it at the end of the day, and you have to wonder
your bottom
why.
Line.
Yeah, it's your bottom line. It's how you're paying your bills, and you always have to wonder why. Even sometimes I think about some of the other tips that I've gotten that are really good, above 20%, and I'm ew, it's so awkward. I appreciate it. I'm not gonna deny the money or whatever, but there have been some cases where I'm oh, I know that you tipped me because you're kind of gross.
Or it's
because I know the interactions that I had, and
exactly.
I had to flirt or do something outside of my comfort zone to get that tip from you. Yeah. Or you wanted to high five me, or
I wish y'all could see my face right now.
I don't know how to describe the ick. If you know, but that ick of just somebody who wants to connect with you so badly via sexual attraction or just human interaction or something, and then you give it to them. Okay, so that's when they'll tip you over 20%, and I'm I want that money, I do, but does it have to come with that?
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, I feel I lost my train of thought, but I feel the ick. Or it's I feel sometimes people do it to flex, or to get you to grovel, a little bit. There's been so many times that people when they're leaving cash for you, they make a big show of how much they're leaving you, Yeah. And so you can be oh, thank you so much, thank you. And it's that that's really demoralizing or dehumanizing, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
And it makes you, it's like kind of designed to make you maybe feel like you're less than that person.
Yeah.
And that can definitely have a draining effect on your mental health.
Yeah, it's weird. And I think like if y'all have any anecdotes or feedback on this topic, I'm actually just like really curious about how often bartenders and servers like think about this, what it does to you. And I know like some people have their own philosophies on tipping, so you're never gonna get more or less than, like, I tip 20% bottom line every single fucking time.
Yeah, 20% is my, like, you will always get 20%.
And then I'm like,
and if you did amazing, and I love you, you're getting more.
Or if I just happen to have more money in my pocket that day, like, you might get more of a tip from me.
Exactly.
But so some people do have like their standards of tipping, and some people are like, yeah, no, I don't believe in tipping, so I'm not going to tip, which is backwards. No, everyone has their philosophy, so I do try not to like assign it to myself every time. But it's really fucking hard not to.
Yeah, and it's also like
take it personally.
Totally. And it's also like fucked up that this is a thing that we do, like, at all. Because
we'll have a whole episode about tipping culture one day.
Yeah, because I do have to acknowledge that tipping is a racist structure that was designed for we could really keep doing this, but we'll do a whole separate tipping episode.
Yeah, we will. And it's hard because it's like, it stems from racist practices anyway. So should we be doing it anyway?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not. But at the same time, I'm just like, okay, well, I can't live off of minimum wage in Seattle either. So getting that extra $2 to $5 to whatever dollars an hour is like fully necessary.
Yeah, and it's like not everyone has the access to like higher education to get like a higher paying job. There's already so many people like in those positions. And see, we really could keep going again. So I'm going to stop.
How many tangents can we do?
How many?
On our
so
first
many.
topic.
Anyways.
Okay. And then
expect a tipping episode in the near future because apparently Sam and I have a lot to say about it.
We've got some passion about it. But the next topic that the article brought up was lack of benefits and time off.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say, once again in Seattle, we are seeing an upward trend of having health benefits in restaurants.
Totally.
When I started 10 years ago, no.
Nope.
Like, not really a thing.
What's healthcare?
Yeah. What? Oh, you need dental? Oh,
Me 10 years ago.
Yeah. But yeah, so now we're seeing an upward trend in it. I think it's becoming way, way more popular for restaurants here in Seattle. And I'm assuming like coffee shops and other service industry
maybe
places
I'm not sure. To
have benefits.
I hope so.
Yeah. So I mean,
shout out in the comments if you A, know, B, can tell us anything. I don't know.
What do we need to advocate for right now?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so I finally am able to afford therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got in. You know what's insane though? I pay out of pocket now because I signed up for a therapist in a different restaurant with certain insurance, and then when I moved, I had to start paying out of pocket in order to keep my therapist. So hopefully one day I'll get back on the right.
See, more access. This is more access conversation too. It's so expensive.
Yeah,
anyways,
and that's outside of the restaurant industry. Like that's statewide legislation.
That's just life.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
but we are seeing more access to mental health. I don't think people use it as much as they should because I think there's like this toxic mentality in the work industry that mental health issues don't exist. There's
such like a stigma around it still.
Yeah.
Which I feel like here in Seattle, in our little like bubble that we kind of have, it's a little better, I think, than it is in some places because I feel like here, especially recently, I felt like there's such a push for like advocating for your own mental health and like taking care of your own mental health, but it is definitely not industry wide at all.
Yeah. I mean, I still think I don't know where it comes from, but my assumption is like there's this weird like workhorse mentality, and my proof for this is the way in which we brag about how much pain we're in.
Yes. Yeah.
Like what is that? Like I'll be like, oh, I've been working 14 days straight, and someone will be like, oh yeah, well, my longest stint was 24 days straight. Like, what?
It's
and
like, we should be working 5.
Yeah, and
maybe.
and like maybe instead of bragging about it, we should be like, "Are you okay?
Are you okay? Yeah.
Like, do you need anything?
Yeah,
do you need
seriously.
me to cover a shift for you? Do you need to call out for a mental health day?
Yeah,
because that's not
a thing either.
That's not something that's super acceptable in our industry. Because then you're leaving somebody else.
Yeah, because then someone else is fucked over. Yeah,
it's precarious. It's like once one domino falls, like, it's all going down.
It's a very tenuous industry that we are in.
Yeah.
But I mean, I will say I'm very fortunate to work in a restaurant that does like value these things, and like we do have like healthcare, and like, you know, we all care about each other's mental health and whatnot. But it is. I wish that was an industry-wide standard where, you know, taking a mental health day, or like, you know, caring about someone else's. Or a
30-minute break in your 9-hour shift.
Yeah. Which is legally mandated and we don't ever do.
No, we sign those away.
Yeah.
Just so y'all know, because I actually went on a date with somebody recently who was shocked to find out that we don't do breaks in the service industry. And I was like, girl, like, I know that it's on, like, we sign it away. But when you sign up to work in a restaurant, you usually sign this piece of paper at the beginning of your hire. Like, yes, legally, if we ask for a 30-minute break, they have to give it to us. But they also have a sign a waiver that says that we waive that responsibility off of our employer just to get a job.
Yeah. I remember the first time I signed one of those at a restaurant group here in Seattle. And I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And I had to do it because, you know, I was like 22 and I was like, I just need money. I don't fucking care about breaks.
Yeah.
I work 7 days a week. So, you know, it didn't even matter, I guess. But, and I think, I'm pretty sure at the restaurant that I'm at right now, we don't sign away
I
that
never
our
signed
breaks.
one there
No.
either. And I didn't. I haven't signed one where I work currently.
Yeah.
We're
a lot
talking
of
about
places
our past
do.
jobs.
Yes. A lot of places do. I'm so glad that I didn't have to. I hope none of you did either.
Yeah. I hope that's not a practice anymore.
Yeah, because it's so sad. Yeah. And I get it too, because it is hard, because even if I did have the option to take a break, I probably wouldn't, honestly, because we're usually busy.
Well, and that's what I was about to ask you. So when's the last time you actually took a 30-minute break?
Oh my God, never. Yeah. I don't do that.
So
I'll take like a smoke break.
Yeah. So in the current restaurant the current bar that I work in, we build in like overlapping shifts. That way people can go take breaks, which is really nice.
Oh, that's nice.
But I'm still so trained that I'm abandoning my team if I take too long of a break. So right now, like, I take like 15-minute breaks, whereas I think like the people who are more used to it are comfortable taking a full 30-minute lunch. And so I'm still trying to work up to feeling comfortable, but like I literally feel levels and levels of guilt if I'm gone for like more than 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And like, even as a guest, like, if you're a patron listening, like, also imagine how weird it would be if your server disappeared off of the floor for 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Like, that's weird. And, like, so we're also upholding, like, guest expectations. We're, like...
It's a lot of pressure.
Releasing our own needs, or, like, neglecting our own needs to meet the needs of, like, our guests as well.
There's been... Totally. There's been so many times that I have been starving at work. Like, just thinking about that made me think of this, but I'm just like, my stomach is grumbling. I'm like hangry, and somebody is getting mad at me for how long their food is taking. I'm like, do you know that most of your servers probably haven't eaten in the last couple hours? Like, we're all, you know, working, and like, we're really busy.
I'm literally drooling over your food right now.
Yeah, like, I eat dead food from the food pass hovered over a garbage can. Like,
that's
most
so
of
real.
the time. Like, whenever there's fries that got fucked up at work, we all descend on them like a pack of vultures.
Yeah,
because we're hungry.
At one of my past jobs, we would actually, like, we didn't get shift meals.
Oh.
And,
that's silly.
No, yeah. And so we would accidentally ring in the wrong thing during work because we were like, that's the only way. Oh, oops. So then it became like a rule that if you accidentally rang in the wrong thing, you were the one person who wasn't like allowed to eat it.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, just give us some fucking fries.
Seriously,
like,
Jesus
we'll
fucking
be
Christ.
fine if you just give us a plate of fries to eat.
Yeah.
But, like...
Please, give us some bread.
Yeah, some bread, please, sir. But yeah, anyway, we were talking about time off. I think it's wild that, like, in a lot of professions, it's normal to take time off for mental health. Mm-hmm. It's normal to take time off in general for, like, vacations and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But you talk to anyone in the service industry who, like, is just trying to pay their bills, like, it's been a year plus since they've been on a vacation or taken a week off to visit family and, like, have an outside life. Yeah. Outside work.
Yeah. I remember during my employee review last year, they told me that the whole year previous to that, I had only taken 1 day off.
Yeah, I don't even know the last time I took it.
Yeah. This year I've taken off a lot of time.
Good for you.
Because I've been like, I need it. So fuck it, I might as well. And I had 1 million weddings to go to this year. So
did you? I don't think I had a single wedding this summer. Oh my God, my brother got married this summer. I love you, Zeke. And Janet.
Oh my God.
That's amazing. But I don't even think I took time off for it. I think that... Stop. I don't even think I took time off for it. I think that I...
that was just on a day
yeah,
off.
I think I either, like, traded a shift with somebody or it was, like, already on my natural weekend.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
But yeah, time off is normal. As humans, we need to take time off.
Yeah.
Your life is not work. Your life shouldn't be work.
Yeah. And, like, I'm not trying to have a full pity party right now. I'm just saying, like, this is a contributing factor to people's mental health. Like, people deserve time off to take care of themselves and have a support system outside of work. Like, that's one thing that, like, I have a supportive family, but I don't get to, like, spend a ton of time with them and actually, like, feel their love and support all the time because I'm at work all the time.
And then we're tired the rest of the time.
And then I feel guilty when it's like, oh, my mom wants to get lunch, but I'm like, oh, but your days off are or your hours are opposite to mine. Mm-hmm. So, like, we're never going to make anything work.
Yeah.
Okay, so eating and sleeping in the service industry is whack.
So bad.
AF. I think the obvious is sleeping because we're sleeping at weird hours of the day. Also, drinking in the industry is heavy, and we'll get into that. But drinking also gives you the worst sleep ever.
Well, yeah, it's funny because it makes you feel like you're sleeping
more soundly, but you're just blacked out.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but so I think, like, one, we're getting poor sleep because sometimes because of drinking, sometimes just because we're sleeping at weird hours of day. And then also, like, the anxiety and depression that people are experiencing in the industry also affects your sleep patterns. Mm-hmm. Like, and then it becomes a cyclical thing. So, like, because you're not getting enough rest, you're also going to be more anxious. But one thing that I thought would be kind of funny to bring up, triggering for some people as well, though, is server dreams.
Oh my God.
Yeah, did that trigger you a little?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, awful.
Because it's like, I think it's a really common experience. I think it's a universal experience in the industry to go through a period of time where you have server dreams.
That's my every week.
And they're called server dreams, but they're literal night terrors.
They're horrible. Especially when I clope in. So, like, when I used to close on Friday nights and then I work again at 9 on Sunday. Are you triggered?
I hate this.
And I work at 9 on Saturday mornings. Oh my God, your face.
No, I literally, like, server dreams are horrifying.
They're horrible. Because something is always, like, just out of your reach. Or, like, for whatever reason, you're like, I can't find the green chartreuse. Yeah. And then, like, when you're trying to find something else bad happens. Yeah. And then you're like, oh my God, I'm like, my ticket printer's going off. For some reason, my feet aren't working and I can't get to the bar.
Mine are always, like, so weird. It's like trippy as hell because you'll just be, like, serving a table and then all of a sudden you'll, like, a new table will pop, like, manifest out of nowhere and they need something from you.
And then there's another 9.
Yeah, and then and then you go try to go help them, and while you're talking to them, there's like 10 more tables that need something from you. But like something is going wrong and it's hard to explain. You just like literally can't do your job well at all.
Yeah, it feels horrible.
You just have these nightmares of like people being angry with you because you can't keep up. Or like one time I had a dream with like that was happening, like I was unable to keep up, and then all of a sudden my old manager like walks into the picture and does it all perfectly, and the floor is fine all of a sudden, and it was just me the whole time. Like, what the hell?
That's so upsetting.
Yeah, no, I'm like literally like getting like warm because I'm just thinking about like these back-to-back nightmares of just like I can't do my job well. What is going on? And I feel like every person in the service industry who's been in it like long enough starts having them. Yeah. Like full nightmares, like replaying every incident at work. But in the most heinous way.
Yeah. I think that's why for me it got to a point where I stopped working weekend nights now because I was getting those so much.
Oh, really?
That was like a huge contributing factor for me. I mean, I got a different work schedule and whatever. But since I was working nights and then going straight into morning the next day, my body wasn't like having time to rest. And I would get server dreams like every single night. Yeah. Because, like quote unquote normal people work like 9 to 5. So they have that entire space of time from 5 p.m. onwards to like, wind down, chill out, like do whatever. But ours is the opposite. So if we would get off of work at like 2 a.m., you feasibly could have that space of time to like
I know some people who have to have that space of time to wind down, which means they're not going to bed till 6 a.m.
Yeah, and that's awful too.
I think I heard at one point that it's bad to sleep. Like, not bad to sleep, but does mess with like your sleep patterns to be sleeping during the day and awake during
your
night.
Circadian rhythm gets really fucked up.
Yeah, and so it's like, and this is not exclusive to service industry workers. Like, there's a lot of nighttime gigs, nursing, truck driving, like those types of things where like they struggle with like sleep disorders as well because of your circadian rhythm. Yes. Okay. Did I say it right? Correct. But yeah, no, server nightmares are insane. And also last night I heard. At some point, I'm going to watch The Bear.
Oh my god, I was going to bring this up too.
Yeah, but I, when it first came out, was living that. And, like, only made it through, like, 2 or 3 episodes as it was coming out. And after that, I was like, why am I going home to watch the stress unfold that, like, just happened to me?
Yeah. I watched 1 episode and I was like, can't do it. I can't do this.
But the reason I brought it up today is because another bartender last night told me that there's a whole episode, and this is going to be triggering, where the ticket printer doesn't stop going off the entire time. Yeah. Like throughout the whole duration of the episode, and it's like a single shot episode. Oh. And I want to watch it just to experience it, but I know that it's going to be horrible.
Oh, yeah.
Because the sound of a ticket printer induces just, like, a panic in your body.
I can hear it now.
I know. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, my God.
I'm so sorry.
I worked a weekend, like, a couple weeks ago. I worked a Friday night, and I haven't worked a Friday night in a minute. And I would turn around, and there was, like, 19 tickets.
My favorite is when the tickets are in the garbage can. Like, there's such a long string of tickets that it's, like, going
They could be a scarf.
Yeah, they could be a scarf.
and then I would do all of them. They're all lined up in front of me, and I'm like, this is my hell now. Like, this is just my life. Yeah. And then you're like, phew, I'm done.
Here, sweetheart.
And then you turn, though, again, and they're in the garbage can again, and you're like, why is there more? Yeah. Where are they coming from?
And it's, like, it's such a weird thing, because it's, like, it's really hard to complain when, like, the thing that's happening is technically your source of income. But, oh my god, it is just like, it is like a fire drill. Yeah. All the time at work.
Forever.
Yeah. And not to mention, also going back to the article a little bit as well, like, they were just talking about how like, customers always right mentality and the way that we have to compose ourselves and hold ourselves in certain moments. Like, they're, like, proposing that, like, in tough guest interactions, we are, like, held to a certain standard of composure. So you're kind of squashing your reactions and
your
your
needs.
emotions and needs constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally interaction after interaction after interaction. And some days you interact with 100+ people.
Yeah.
Depending on the bar you work in.
Totally.
And it's so wild to think that we're just like so tightly wound because if somebody says something to you that's mean or rude or disrespectful, you're not allowed to say anything about it.
Yeah.
You hold it
as
in
much as you want to.
And I'm literally just like, this is what it feels like. That ticket printer, those like small guest interactions where you're just like holding your breath that you don't scream at any moment or like get yourself fired of like, fuck.
Yeah.
And like obviously not the only profession that deals with that, but but here we are.
But a lot of people aren't also getting tipped for it too. Yeah. No. Some are probably, but that's
true. Like actually making a living wage. Woo, 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 woo.
Yeah.
Breathe.
Oh my God.
If you're listening still, take a deep breath.
Yeah, seriously. Unclench your jaw because I gotta unclench mine right now too.
Okay, and then this moment I'm gonna bring up, I hadn't thought about, one of the articles I was reading brought it up. But trigger warning, ED, mentions of eating disorders here.
Oh, yeah.
I can't equate the disordered eating of servers to folks with like eating disorders, but I think that there's something to be said about the way that service industry like folks eat.
Oh my God.
Because a lot of the time, so one of the articles I was reading equated it to binge eating disorders.
Yeah.
Where you're restricting yourself for hours and hours and hours because you don't have time. You're not allowed to take a full break or whatever is going on, or even the culture doesn't like let you take a full break. Like there's so many jokes in the service industry about bartender dinner being like a handful of olives and a cigarette.
Yeah, the olives from the garnish bar. And the maraschino cherries.
And the cherries. Yeah. And it's just like truly sometimes we don't have the time to eat, and I'm sure that if you already struggle with an eating disorder, like being in this industry would exacerbate that.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But I'm also sure that for some people, it can trigger it. Mm-hmm. For me personally, I don't struggle with disordered eating other than just like restricting when I have to because I'm at work or something like that. So I don't know what that experience is like, but I've witnessed it. Yeah. Be vice versa. Like either the industry exacerbates it or triggers it. Yeah. And I had not thought about that. No. Like I live that, like binge
it's so
eating
normal
lifestyle.
For us.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I live it, but I had never put it together like that. And I 100% am not equating the two. Like I think having an eating disorder outside of the industry or like in your own bubble from the industry is different. That is a different struggle. I don't struggle with it personally. But yeah, so I just want to acknowledge that, but I had never thought about the way that servers and bartenders eat being disordered.
Yeah, no, I think we just have normalized it so much that we forget that it's entirely not normal because I think about it and there's been there's been days. It's almost every shift. Yeah. Where I basically starve myself for the entire shift and then I have food that I've ordered but I can't get to it and then I eat like a ton of food all at the same time. Yeah. And then...
Which is horrible for your metabolism.
So bad for your
horrible
metabolism.
For your gut health, which is also connected to brain health.
Yes. Your gut is actually called your second brain because it has like just as many... I can't remember the exact thing, but like there's just as many nerve endings or impulses or something like that. There's like 1 million and your brain has 1 billion or whatever it is. But...
I also
it's closely intertwined.
Sure. I back in the day did take a couple neuroscience classes, and I remember vividly. Like I don't remember specific neurotransmitters or neurons or whatever anymore because it's been ages. But I remember full sections of studying like gut health connected to brain health.
Yeah, very closely tied.
Yeah,
and that's why they say trust your gut.
Oh, cute. Yeah. Cute. We learn something new every day. Hey. But yeah, no, I'm just like, and also like what we're eating because we eat what is convenient to us because of the structure of our life. So it's not like
it's never healthy.
I've tried so hard in this, because my work environment currently is pretty healthy. So I've been trying really hard. Oh, since I do get a 15, 20-minute break, I'm going to pack a lunch.
That's so nice.
Yeah, no, and I'm
so happy for you.
Yeah, I've really been working on it. That way my diet is more well-rounded, like fruits, vegetables.
Yeah.
But when I was working in restaurants where I could never take a break, like there was no point in packing a lunch, I was just eating what was available, and it's not healthy food.
No.
Even if you think it's healthy, every restaurant is putting so much butter and oil on your salad, in your pasta, on your whatever, that no.
Well, yeah, because for the consumer, like guests who come in, that's their fun meal, you know? They're like, oh yeah, I'm having my fun meal for
this
a
is
week,
my cheat meal.
Exactly. But for me working, that's my everyday meal, because you get like a meal at work, or
a lot of fried food.
Yes, or like you're hungry and you just need to eat something.
Yeah.
I have a lot of granola bars in my bag. I just eat throughout the day.
Yeah.
And that's not a good
girl
dinner.
Yeah. And granola bars aren't the worst thing in the world, but if that's all you're eating, I think I'm trying to find the word for it, but I'm not a dietitian, but it's like mono. Like you're eating one or two sections of the food pyramid because of what your restaurant offers.
Yeah. Or
what your surroundings offer. Whereas if you had the time to go grocery shopping and make your lunch every day, you could have a more well-rounded diet. That's what I'm striving for right now, because it certainly has been helping my mental health to eat a strawberry here and there or a carrot here and there. I didn't actually realize how much it was affecting my mental health, but now that I have a new situation, I see the difference. Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah. It's crazy, the tiniest little things that we've been conditioned to not think of anymore are the things that are, the biggest issues. Yeah. And, in your mental health being good. Yeah. But, I never really thought about it that way.
Yeah, no, I never had to until I started doing some research for this. But one that I want to point out quickly and get over quickly, that way we can talk about drinking, is that we are in a physical labor job. We're on our feet for 8 to 12 to whatever hours. Finding time to sit down is actually really hard. And I miss working out so much. And I technically have time to work out. But my body is so tired from standing for 9 to 12 hours a day.
It's hard to want to work out when your work day is a workout in itself.
Yeah, and it's not even a healthy workout because you're not focused on form or push-pull or cardio.
You're surviving.
You're just on your feet. And you're buckling your knees too much, so watch yourself. Oh my God.
Drink water too.
But yeah, so just as a quick note, I truly and I was talking to a friend this morning about it, and sometimes when I do work out before work, I feel more energized for work. Yeah. For about the first 4 hours.
Yeah, and then it's hard after.
And then after about 4 or 5 hours, my body is crashing. So it's hard because we are working physical labor, so I wish it was considered a workout, and I wish it was doing good things for my body. But once again, mind-body connection, all this stuff, we're just in these crazy working conditions. So getting all of the self-care in that we can is it's not built in. This is designed, this industry is inadvertently designed to destroy your mental health, to not allow you to take care of yourself at all.
Well, yeah, there's so many factors against you, too.
Yeah, no, as we're calculating them right now, I'm literally this is overwhelming.
I know, yeah, I've been thinking about it while we're doing this, and I'm oh my God, I didn't even think about all these things that are just piling on top of each other.
And then you add on top of that a little sprinkle of alcoholism. Booze. No, I don't think everyone in the industry struggles with real alcoholism. I think, we have various rates of, binge drinking disorders, minor alcoholism, extreme alcoholism. There's a lot. But the main point is that alcoholism is alcohol is a depressant, right? So if we're already talking about things like depression and anxiety, you're exacerbating those problems with drinking. And when you're talking about restaurants and bars, drinking is part of the culture inherently. Yeah. And I know a lot of people who are sober in the industry. You went a long time being sober in the industry and all this stuff, but it's not common and it's not easy.
Holy fuck, is it hard?
Yeah, no, it's wild because I mean, this is one of the only industries where it's like, acceptable. I'm going to use that word, but it's acceptable to be using basically a drug on the job.
Yeah.
Like, not to mention the slew of other drugs that are involved in the service industry, tobacco, cocaine. Those are the most, yeah, those are the most prevalent, I would say, other than alcohol. But alcohol is truly an addictive substance, and like
it's very dangerous.
Yeah, and it's pretty like acceptable to be not only like tasting your cocktails, but drinking them here and there, having a shift drink after work. Some places I've known like do more than that, but
drinking during work.
Yeah, drinking on the job. But basically, even if you are doing it responsibly and like just drinking after work, like we mentioned before, drinking is going to affect your sleep schedule. It's going to it's going to cause more anxiety and depression as well. So, fun fact, basically, so when I say alcohol is a depressant, it suppresses your nervous system, right? Mm-hmm. So, if you're a regular drinker, you don't even have to be a daily drinker, but if you're a regular weekly drinker, usually your cortisol levels, baseline, are higher. Mm-hmm. Cortisol is your stress hormone, meaning you experience more anxiety. Mm-hmm. So if you are drinking consistently, you're going to experience anxiety. And then on top of that, you get what do we call anxiety? Yeah. You have ruminating thoughts about sorry, not you, me. You have ruminating thoughts about damn, am I a piece of shit for drinking so much?
Or what did I do last night?
Yeah, did I get into any trouble? Do I need to apologize for anyone? It's such a cyclical thing, and this service, I think the main takeaway from the service industry is we have all of the things that do the opposite of promote self-help, and then on top of that we just throw a little alcohol in there and we're
into the mix. Good luck. Well, and also too, even if you're not drinking every single day, alcohol takes quite a bit of time to leave your system, so those effects linger in your body for a long time too.
Yeah, which is why I think when I had heard that you don't even have to be a daily drinker, you just have to be a regular weekly drinker. Mm-hmm. I think that's probably why, what you're explaining, that it lingers in your system. Yeah. That's probably why, even if you're only drinking on the weekends, you're going to experience more anxiety than somebody who drinks, once a month.
Well, especially, too, if you're a weekend drinker, thinking about it, you only drink on the weekends when you go out and you're finally, I'm released from work and I can be unleashed upon the world of alcohol. Yeah. You're binge drinking to a crazy extent.
Yeah, I think when I was younger, in college and working in the industry, I was a binge drinker.
Remember, I went to the doctor one time and she was like, oh, can you tell me about your drinking habits? And I told her how much I drank a week and how often I drank and whatever. And she goes, did you know that this is considered very serious binge drinking levels? And I was like, this is just my life.
This is normal. This is normal. I truly, and maybe this podcast will turn into this one day, but I truly think that there need to be research done on people in the service industry.
Oh my god, yeah.
The fact that the norm is 4 drinks a week for female-bodied people and 7 for male-bodied people, and we have people who are drinking 13 to 20 drinks a day. Mm-hmm.
I used to drink tequila like water at work.
Yeah, no, and so it's just so interesting. I'm like, okay, we might be the most resilient group of people, but also not. It's so fascinating to me to reconnect with friends who are outside of the industry and realize that they live a completely different lifestyle than I do.
Totally.
And it's I don't know if I want to live a completely different lifestyle, but it'd be nice to be able to build healthy habits in this industry.
Oh, absolutely.
But the way we're dealing with tipping culture, and we have to staff properly because of tipping culture, and we're not guaranteed. Yeah, we're just not guaranteed pay. We're not guaranteed hours. That's the other thing is you could get cut from a shift and then all of a sudden even your hourly pay is gone that you were expecting to have.
Mm-hmm.
And so just because...
we got lots of factors.
Yeah, just because of the precarious nature of the industry, it's truly just like, whoa. Like, I would love to build unhealthy habits, but I don't know where to start.
Well, yeah, because there's so many things all at the same time that are, like, preventing you from
did it feel like we were shouting at you this whole episode? It should. Because that's what it feels like at work every fucking day. Like,
my brain hurts.
I know, to be honest with you, that was a lot. We made it through the whole list. We talked about, anecdotally from our experience, like, how these factors in this article actually contribute to our experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And the experiences that we see here in Seattle restaurant industry. But yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah, sorry everyone.
Yeah.
Welcome to our brains.
Yeah. Wow, that really was like a whole brain dump.
We just trauma dumped.
Yeah.
For an hour.
Which, okay, also, side, like, tangent, I was thinking about this today. I was like, yes, I love and I care about the people that I work with, and I consider them close friends and support. But isn't it wild that we bond over trauma dumping about work and alcohol all the time?
Crazy, yeah.
Like, I feel like, I don't know the actual definition of the word trauma bond, so I'm hesitant to use it flippantly, but we do bond over our traumas constantly.
Yeah.
Like, we are bonding, like, I want to heal, like, at some point, the relationship between guest and server because of these anxieties that it causes to service workers and people in tipped positions. I truly think, like, the nature of the work that we do, like, if I got to go into work and guarantee that I wasn't going to be in a harmful situation with a guest every day, like, if I could guarantee that, I think that the labor that I do is worth the money that I do.
Oh, yeah, I love...
Or the money that I get.
Yeah, totally. I love working in the service industry, and I love, like, meeting new people every day and, like, talking to guests and all that. But there's always the looming prospect of the one that will mentally break you that day.
Yeah.
And that's never fun. Especially because, like, I feel like, not to throw this word around lately, but I feel like guests sometimes just abuse that a lot.
Yeah.
And it's not healthy, because I feel like a lot of times we're seen as, like, less than other people, or people view us as less than.
I mean, you have to understand it's a power position. Like, they have the money that we need to pay our bills.
Exactly. And
it doesn't matter sometimes how nice you are. There is a power dynamic regardless.
Yeah. Regardless of if they're nice or if, like, they're being, if they're being a good guest.
I think it would be so nice to just, like, change the culture and make it more, like, welcome into our home. Like, this is our restaurant that we're bringing you in as guests, and you're going to take off your shoes if we ask you to. Like, this is our home.
Please don't take off your shoes in the restaurant, though.
I mean, don't. Don't. But,
I hate when people do that.
Yeah. But I just mean, like, it would be so nice to heal that relationship, because I do think, like, the work is fun. I do think that the culture could be better, but it is also, like, we turn into, like, trauma dumping assholes in the service station sometimes too, and, like, sometimes the shit talk about guests, like, doesn't even need to happen. It's just, like,
it's
coping.
A release. Yeah,
it's
you
literally
have to
coping.
Do it.
It's like I have to project. I have to defend. I have to use all my defense mechanisms in the service station right now.
Yeah.
So that way I can go home not feeling like I am shit at my job, or that I went into the wrong profession. Like, fuck, I'm not using my college degree. Like, I'm disappointing my parents. Like, shoot, like, well, it sucks.
It's a bummer, because it's such, like, a beautiful industry and profession, and, like, taking care of other people is awesome, and it's really fun.
We provide so many people with an escape from their normal effing life.
Yeah.
Like, a place to, like, relax after a long day at work.
Yeah, it's just hard that that's also our place of work.
Yeah, it's confusing.
So it is very weird. Confusing.
I did tell these guests, just to end on, like, a slightly funny note, I did tell these guests yesterday, they were a group of men, and they, like, joked around about how one of their friend needs, like, professional psychological help, and I laughed, and I said, well, I do have a degree in that, but that's going to cost you more. And truly, like, sometimes I like being in the service industry, because before I can get my master's, like, this is a moment to connect with people and, like, and like learn bedside manners, learn how to grow with people, whatever. Like, so I do really think that this industry is something that is beautiful and worthwhile, but I just wish it didn't come at the expense of like everyone's mental health.
Oh, exactly. Well, also too, like this profession, like sets you up for every other profession. You know what I mean?
Truly,
you learn
that,
everything.
Know that.
Yeah. Everything that you see on like a job posting that's like, oh, you need customer service things, you need to know how to handle yourself in a crisis. Like, people see the restaurant industry as like a useless profession, but
no.
We're set up to handle fucking
We have
everything.
perfected the art of crisis management.
Yes.
Of fulfilling guest needs.
Performing under pressure.
Yeah. Just
extreme deadlines.
Fast-paced environments. Cash handling. Da-da-da-da-da. Like, you name it, we have practiced it.
Yeah. It's, my God, is it a lot?
Not to toot our own horn. If it is stressful. Okay.
And we love it.
Yeah, we love it. Since we were talking about tipping culture, did I tell you about this lady and her philosophy on tipping?
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no is right.
Oh, no. Okay, so for our crying in the walk-in segment this week, we've got Sam telling the story.
This almost, like, if we had a walk-in, I probably would have gone and screamed in there because it took everything in my being not to, like, lash out in the moment and ask this person to leave. Because, for context, too, we were about to close the restaurant. Or no, we were closed. We had the lights turned up. So, like, it was kind of at that moment where we could politely be like, hey, like, we're about to lock up. You got to move along. And I wanted to do it aggressively to this person because this date was happening at my bar top, and they were lovely for the most part. Everything went fine. But I overhear something that piques my interest. Of this person was telling their date that they didn't believe in tipping.
Oh, and red flag.
Yeah, well, I was like, I mean, me neither. It's a racist practice. I get it, but we do it because that's where we're at in the world. Like, right? So I start, like, listening in because I'm like, this could go either way. No, their reasoning for not tipping is, how dare you imply that I'm not getting the best service every time?
Oh my!
Made the tipping culture about themselves and not like our value as workers, as people, as yeah. I literally was like, whoa. So then I was like, okay, so in what direction does she not believe? Like, are you gonna tip 20% because you are a good person anyway? No, had the entire, like, tip, total, and signature line just scribbled out.
Oh my God.
Like, went out of the way also to just, like, scribble out the tip line. Like, I was like,
oh my God,
I'm gonna lose my shit. Like, because I don't know how to explain to you that that's not what this is about. Like, maybe if the tipping culture, maybe if we got paid a living wage and then there was a tip on top, that would be the implication of like, hey, go ahead and tip us extra if we actually do a good job. But I guarantee you, for the most part, 99.999% of the time, your server is doing the best that they can at that fucking moment.
Yeah.
And like, just because they had too big of a section and couldn't get you that extra condiment you requested, or
that features in the server nightmares later.
That does. Oh my God. But yeah, anyway, I was truly just baffled. I was like, how did you turn this around and say that if there's a such thing as a tip, it has anything to do with what you deserve as a guest?
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
It has everything to do with what we deserve and haven't been given as service staff. Like, we deserve a living wage, and you have the power to give it to us or not.
Yeah.
But you're going to turn it around and say it has to do with the service that you're owed, and how dare we imply that you might not get it every time.
Whoa.
And I was like, that was the first time I had ever heard that in my life.
That's insane.
And I was like, that is backwards. That is so weird. I have never heard that before. I hope that that's not a common mentality. I hope that because I'm saying it now, I don't give people that notion, but I'm truly like, no.
I hope you never hear that again.
Yeah, no. I'm like, your
scary.
server and bartender are doing their damnedest to give you the best time possible, and for you to take away their living wage because you feel offended. Like, I don't know. It's still so hard for me to wrap my brain around.
Wow.
So if I had a walk-in, would have been screaming, probably would have been taking a shot in the walk-in because I was like, whoa, that rocked my world a little bit.
That's crazy.
Isn't
I've
that weird?
Thought about, I guess
I
I'm a decent person.
I would have never thought about it in that.
No. And of course, too, most of the time, you are getting the best service because that's what we're paid to do.
Well,
we
also,
have to
like,
do that.
Okay, so you're offended, like, how dare we imply that you're not getting good service, but I know you got good service. We had good rapport. Your friend tipped properly. Mm-hmm. Like, so that's an indication that something went right, or at least that nothing went wrong. But you're not going to tip at all because of some principle or, like, offense that you made up in your head?
Yeah. That also really reinforces the I'm better than you sort of thing, too. Yeah. You know? That person is probably just like, yeah, all servers and bartenders are people who don't have a college degree and, like, are just less than, like, just not smart and, like, they're just here because, like, I don't know, any laundry list of reasons.
So weird. That it was diabolical. I was literally like, okay.
That is
who told this person that's what that means? Like,
my jaw is on the floor.
Jesus Christ.
In order to prevent Sam and I having to share triggering stories from our past, you should send in your stories to our JotForm. It's in our link on our Instagram bio.
Yeah. Send in your walk-in stories.
Any story.
And how about also, if you can remember your server nightmares, I kind of want to hear it.
Ooh, yeah. Give us a server nightmare story.
Oh.
Honestly, this segment is now just free for all. Do whatever you want. Yeah. Tell me a thing. Yeah. I need it.
Also, give us feedback on or like expand on these topics because I want these conversations to become bigger and become healing and connected between other people in the service industry and also guests and patrons of restaurants. Like, we want to hear your perspective as well because otherwise it's just going to be mine and Kai's perspective, which is not gospel, all right? And if you let it become gospel, so be it. But that's on you if you don't send in your thoughts.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Drink water.
Yeah, drink water. Thanks for listening to Crying in the Walk-In with Sam and Kai. Find us on Instagram at cryingintthewalkin_pod and on Spotify at Crying in the Walk-In. You can find us in real life too, but only if you know us, you little freaks.